If you attracted more local people and then you got them to actually know you and then you offered them tattoos in a clear, simple, and concise way, and you did that over and over again, because again, you have to remember how much noise is on social media. You have to cut through all that noise. And the way you do that is through repetition, through consistency, and then using the tools to be more laser focused by targeting your content in front of the eyeballs that you actually want to see, because those are your potential clients. Welcome to the Artful Dollar, where we talk about business, money, marketing, mostly for tattoo artists, but this stuff's pretty universal. And what I'm going to be covering today is a sample of the Tattoo Forever system. I'm actually going to go over the whole Tattoo Forever system. I am doing a workshop live, a 2-hour deep dive into this. The details are in the caption below. Later this month is February, so if you want that, you can check it out. But I figured people are going to hear Tattoo Forever system and think that's total fucking bullshit. And so I actually wanted to show you what it actually is so that you can see for yourself how, if you were to do this, it would be very feasible for you to literally attract and book tattoos for the rest of your career. So I'm just going to cover it. Before I even move on, to show you that this system works and that running paid ads is one of the quickest ways you can book more tattoos, I just want to show you Pinky Darling's experience using this strategy. So she was a tattooer that been tattooing for about 18 years, and she used to be booked out for 8 solid months at a time. And she saw her bookings going down to about a month out, and that's when she noticed, ooh, I better do something about it. And so this is her experience using this, just so you know that this stuff actually works.
Worrying about the other artists in my studio. So then I looked at my own book and realised that I only had bookings for a few weeks ahead, which had never happened to me before. I have started running Instagram ads, and I was able to book in 15 full day sessions in one day, which is my biggest amount of bookings in one day ever in the full 18 years I've been tattooing. I think every tattooist is going to have to do this eventually. I think there's a gap where tattooists are not marketing themselves properly, and I wanted to try and get ahead of the curve as much as I could, because I think everyone is eventually going to be doing it and doing ads, and I didn't want to get left behind.
So if you don't think that tattooers have any room for improvement in the area of marketing, then don't even bother listening to this episode of this podcast. But if you do think that there's at least some room to improve your marketing, watching this episode alone, even if you don't take the workshop, is going to greatly improve how you look at and approach your marketing for the rest of your career. I also didn't really invent the Tattoo Forever system. I applied something that was invented by a man named Leonard L. Barry. So he created this form of marketing called relationship marketing back in 1983. And this is specifically for service-based businesses, service marketing. The idea is we're not just trying to acquire clients. We're trying to acquire and attract leads that we then build a relationship with before we try to sell with them. And this has basically been the foundation of marketing for the past 40 years. There's all different ways you can do this, but this is what I apply to social media. This is the reason why you're watching this. Right now, we're nurturing, we're getting to know each other. I talked to someone earlier today, and I've heard this a couple of times from tattooers. They're like, I listen to your content because there's no bullshit. You're just telling it like it is. Someone said it was very brutal, but she also really appreciated it. So I share this stuff because why would you ever work with me if you didn't know anything about me, right? And so with tattoo artists, there are so many tattooers out there. And if I gave you an option to choose between A and B, okay? Both tattoo artists do the same style. They've been tattooing the same amount of time. They charge the same amount of money. They're in the same location. They're essentially, from a client's perspective, the same tattoo artist, right? Which tattooer are you going to choose, A or B? Just think about it. You can't, right? You're like, I don't know, maybe B, right? Now, imagine you have the same situation, but it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and like, which one are you going to choose? I really don't know, right? And now I'm going to get you to pick one of them, and I'm going to change one small thing, and it's not the quality of their tattoos, okay? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Now, the only difference between these is K. You know them, and you know that you like and you trust them. That's it. Now, which one are you going to choose? Of course, you're going to choose K. And so that's This is not magic voodoo tips, tricks. This is just the fundamental psychology behind why people buy and who they buy from. People buy from people that they trust. So if we can get people to trust you and like you before they buy from you, then you have a higher odds. And that's all we're doing with marketing is we're increasing the odds that someone is going to actually buy from you. And so before they like you and trust you, the first thing we need to do is we need to get them to know you. So first of all, if more people knew about you, then you would have more customers. Wherever you are in the world, some people are in a small town or you're in a big city, but if all you were to do was change this one thing is just get more of the people that are in your local area to know you, the likelihood of you getting more tattoos booked instantly goes up. So the way you do this is you make a piece of content that speaks to people who don't know you yet, right? You can't assume that people on Instagram are going to come to your profile and know fuck all about you, especially if all you're doing is posting tattoos. So you're literally speaking to them. You're telling them what you want them to know about you. My name is Ryan. I'm a tattoo. I've been tattooing for X many years, 13 years. I love doing this kind of work. I'm in New York City. You want to give them the information. First of all, no one knows where the fuck you're located. When they come to your profile and you don't have it listed there, they don't know where you're located. And even if you do, most people aren't immediately reading through the bio on your page. Like, think about it. When you visit someone's profile, it's the first thing you're doing reading. No, you're going to their content. And so in general, if you want to get more local clients, if you simply say the location that you are at more often in your content, then more people will in your local area know you. And they'll immediately know, oh, that's where that person, oh, right, Ryan's in New York. Oh, right, Ryan's in New York. You have to remind people more times than you're probably comfortable with. And we'll get into that with nurturing and familiarity. But it's a really simple concept. You literally just tell people, if someone were to walk into your shop, what would you want that person, the few details of information you'd want that person to know about you for them? Well, first of all, they would need to know where you are, right? But besides that, why do you tattoo what you tattoo, right? I do bold traditional tattoos. Okay, why? Why do you care about that? What is unique about, what stands out about your work versus someone else? What's the thought behind? So some people do like, we'll call it nerd trad, right? They like doing like nerdier, funkier Dungeons and Dragons type stuff. And other people like doing more like vintage, it looks like it was pulled right off of an old map you found in someone's garage. Talk about the work that you do in a way where if someone was blindfolded, they would get a picture in their head a little bit more vividly around the work that you do. When you talk about your work, and this is why it's so important to talk or have words in your content, is because the way the algorithm nowadays, one of the biggest changes to social media is the way the algorithm finds people to show your content to is through the words that you use. It literally becomes the targeting. The same thing for running paid ads, and we'll get into ads in a little bit because it is a part of the strategy. The way the algorithm, the ads or content algorithm knows who to show this to is it quickly surmises what is this content about, and then it goes through its database to find people that it knows are already interested in the ideas and the topics and the themes that are being spoken about or written about. It can also read your content. So when you post a picture of a tattoo with words on it, that's why that content immediately gets more views than just a picture of a tattoo, because the algorithm actually has something to work with. But when you're just working with an image, the algorithm doesn't have enough information. It has some, and it will do its best, but it doesn't really have enough information to make sure that it's showing it to the right people. And when it shows your content to the right people, especially if you say you're in Kalamazoo, and it's going to be more likely to show your content to people in Kalamazoo, and then those people are going to like it, and then more of those people like that are going to see it. This is how, it's not rocket science. This is how social media works. So that's why it's so important to talk in your content. You literally want to speak to the type of people that you want to attract. That's it. It's like you literally speak it into existence. Your words become the targeting for your content to find the followers. And then if you want to supercharge this and make sure you get as many local followers as possible, you run it as a paid ad or a boosted post. There's a little bit more, actually, there's a lot more targeting capability in Meta Ads Manager, but a simple thing that you can do right now is make this post and then just boost it in your local area. You will immediately attract more followers. Now, the better quality of the content, the clearer the message and the content structure, which is something I go into much more deeply in the full 2-hour Tattoo Forever System workshop, the better it's going to perform. But I promise you, even if you did a bad intro reel or attraction content, as we'll call it, because there's a couple different frameworks that I go over, but even if you just gave a simple introduction and you targeted people, you are bound to get more followers easily. You could do it for $3 to $5 a day. You might get, let's say, under $1 per follower. And so you're getting, 5 to 10 followers a day. After 30 days, that's somewhere between 150 to 300 local followers. Remember that all followers are not created equal, right? If you're tattooing in Kentucky and you get a follower in New Delhi, India, that's not very valuable to you. But if you get a follower that's in Kentucky or in and around that area, that is a much more valuable follower to you because you can actually work together. And so if you got for, let's say, $200 a month, you attracted 300 to 400 new local followers, and only 2 or 3 of those people got tattooed by you, you would immediately make a return on your investment of $200. Let's say you made $600, that would be a 3x ROAS, return on ad spend. That's the framework term we use in ads talk to gauge how well your ad did. And so some of those people that you attract are going to immediately work with you. And then a large percentage, let's say over 90% of them, are not going to be ready to get tattooed by you right away. They need a little bit more warming up. And it's like, you're single and looking to mingle, and you're going around a big crowd of people. And rather than asking people, hey, where are you from? What do you do? Rather than getting to know, rather than telling them a little bit more about you and who you are and see, is there a vibe here? Do we connect? Instead of doing that, you're just going around and being like, who wants to fuck? You want to fuck? No? Oh, do you want to fuck? You can't do that in marketing. You can't do that anywhere, but I know it's a dramatic example metaphor, but that's literally what tattooers are essentially doing when it comes to marketing. They're not really doing anything to attract. They're not really spending much effort to nurture that relationship before someone chooses you as a tattoo artist. Because remember, if they have to pick from an ocean of tattooers and they don't know if they like or trust any of them, and people have these preconceived notions about who and what tattoo, people are intimidated by tattoo artists. That's the reality, that they see things on TV or they have these, subconscious beliefs. So that's why you want to show who you are, not just what you do in your content. If you run that as a paid ad, you're going to get more local people. And so we want to warm them up. And so this concept, people buy from people that they trust. I mean, it's kind of obvious, but how do you get someone to like and trust you, right? You can like someone, but not necessarily trust them, right? You can trust someone, but not necessarily like them. So it's really about getting people to like and trust you. And so just the basic psychology behind, what's that book? How to Make Friends and Influence People. There's a lot of formula to it. The first one being familiarity. People trust people that they're familiar with. And I hear it all the time from tattooers that I work with or who do take one of my workshops. They're like, I've been following you for 2 years. And when I first saw you, I thought you were a total scam artist piece of shit, right? We talked about that in the last podcast episode. But you know what? I started to listen around and it started to make some sense. And you know what? They didn't like me and they didn't trust me at first. Later on, maybe they trusted me, but they still didn't like me. And eventually I wore them down, The other thing that I didn't list on here, well, it kind of goes with confidence, is be unapologetically yourself. And that is something that is hard for people to do in content, because the minute you hit record, it's like all of a sudden you become this other weird, awkward version of yourself. And you might already be a weird, awkward version. That just might be who you naturally are, but you want to show the authentic, weird, awkward version. And I know that term gets thrown around a lot, but literally authenticity is not something that you craft or that you plan. It's something that you discover through the creative process. And so I look at content like any other art form. It's a creative process. Look at tattooing. There were tattoos I did. I'm like, that was good, but like I didn't feel like I knocked it out of the park. Like I didn't feel like I hit that like zone of genius. Like it's good. I'm happy with it. The client's happy with it. And then there's other tattoos where I'm like, holy, who did that tattoo? I did that? No, I don't know how I did that. It was like I literally discovered something that was channeled through me into the art. That happens with content, but you can't discover your authentic brand, voice, message. You can't show who you authentically are if you don't first just try, just take a risk. And it will take repetition. And that repetition is going to build familiarity. So people naturally trust things, businesses, and other people that they're at least familiar with. That's why I have a podcast, right? I figure, well, if people only know me from a 30-second clip and they don't get a deeper sense of who I am, they're way less likely to work with me. So I figure, why don't I just make the podcast where I share the knowledge and information that I have, and then if anyone wants more help with it, well, then they can work with me. And if they don't, they don't. That's totally fine. But that's how you build trust. You show up in people's feed more regularly, and if you scroll through your social media feed, and this might not work for all tattoo artists, but normal people, let's say, who follow, or if you only follow tattooers, this might not work. But chances are you follow other things, and there's a good chance that in fact, there's a guaranteed chance that there are suggested posts that come into your feed, meaning it's a post from someone that you don't follow. And if you look at those posts, 99% of the time, it's going to either be someone talking to the camera with a caption, maybe, not all the time, but someone talking to the camera, or it's a picture with words on it. That's the majority of content that if you want to cut through the noise, and there's so much noise on social media, if you want to cut through the noise, you have to have a clear, direct message. And the only way to do that is to use words, whether that's written or spoken. And so if you do that, you will show up more repeatedly, regularly in someone's feed. So they started following you because you made a piece of content saying, hey, give my page a follow. This is who I am and this is what I do. But they don't yet like you or trust you. And by showing up on a number of occasions, you build familiarity. That's one way that we get people to like you and trust you. The next is confidence. And I know for some people that can feel really hard on social media, but if you're talking about an area of expertise like tattooing, it's a lot easier to exude confidence in your content and what you're talking about. And so things that seem boring to any tattoo artist, like you almost want some of your content, you almost want tattoo artists to think it's boring. Because if tattoo artists think it's boring, like you're covering like basic detail. I had a client get, over 70,000 views and hundreds of new followers off a post where she was just talking about what you should do to prepare for your tattoo. Right? It's very boring content for a tattoo artist, but again, you have to think from the client's perspective. No one's telling them this kind of stuff. Sure, they could Google it or ChatGPT it, but if you're the person that's talking about it comfortably and confidently from experience, they're more likely to trust you. And if they trust you, they're more likely to work with you. And so it might take some practice. It will take practice. When I first started making content in 2020, that's how long I've been talking to a fucking camera like this. I was very, hi, I'm Ryan Roi, and we're going to talk about retirement today. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I couldn't just get into the flow with it. And now it's very easy for me to just drop in. I'm literally in a room by myself right now talking to a camera. I couldn't do this even years ago. And even when I did, I just wasn't as confident and comfortable. So something you do. It takes practice. And then the last is relatability. So I look at this in terms of values. Like you might have a friend that has very different beliefs than you, right? You might come up from two different religious backgrounds or influences. You might even have different political beliefs, and yet you share similar values, right? I'm not going to get into politics on that, but I have friends that share different political beliefs than I do, but I know that in their heart, they have genuinely the same values as I do, even though we see differently on other things. So anything you can do to convey your value system. So this is where you might need to make a statement or something that feels a little bit risky. It feels not controversial. I had a client confuse that to mean controversial. That's not what I'm talking about. It is you're exposing something, whether that is your views on tattooing, on art that are maybe different. You know that you see things differently, or your approach to the way you live your life could be different. This is something that's going to come through trial and error. And really the best way to do it is to simply talk about how you work, what you know, who you work with, and who you are. And if you just do that over and over again, you will naturally build familiarity. You will naturally gain the confidence, so that comes out in your content. And the more you do it, it's like okay, be relatable. Go. Okay, I'm not related to you. You can't just, again, it's like authenticity. It's not something that I can just tell you how to be relatable, but I can tell you the path that you can follow to be relatable. I do cover a few more very specific examples of what I'm talking about in the Forever System workshop. Again, if you want more help with this stuff, you can hit the link down there. If you don't, you can just play around with it. Dick around. How do you think I figured out this shit? I read a fuck ton of books. I watched a fuck ton of YouTube videos. I attended seminars. I worked with coaches, and ultimately I fucked around and I found out. And I've probably done that way more times than you have. And that's why I'm here on the podcast talking about it. I'm not better or smarter than most of y'all. In fact, I'm sure there are people that listen to my podcast that are way smarter than me. I just fucking dicked around and made myself kind of look like a fool a couple times or a few hundred times before I built the experience, the knowledge, the data, and the strategy around what I do. So now we have people that know you, right? They're local to you. We've run an ad to make sure that we've focused content of you in front of eyeballs that are belonging to people that live in your local area. And now we've created content repeatedly, not like once a month, like once or twice a week would be a big lift for some of y'all. So if that's where you're at, start with that. Do whatever you can do consistently. You're talking about how you work, what you know, who you work with. The who you work with one, actually, the easiest way to do that is to actually invite your clients into your content. So if you've got some ride or die clients that you get to be your authentic self when you're around them, say, hey, I need to make some more content that shows who I am and what I do. Would you mind if you just hold my camera and ask me some questions, or get them to talk about their experience working with you? Because there's another psychological thing. Not only do people buy from people that they like and trust, people ask themselves a subconscious question. This is a quote from Seth Godin, famous marketer, which is, do people like me buy from people like this? Or do people like me buy things like this? And when they see examples of your clients be in their natural, fun, authentic, weird, strange selves, it signals that subconscious thing of like, ooh, this person's kind of like me, and people like me do buy from people like this, so I'm going to buy. All this marketing stuff is all psychology. It's subconscious mind, conscious mind, triggers, pulleys, and it's not like manipulation. Like, sure, this stuff could be used to attract, nurture, and sell a diabolical fucking cult, but no, if you just use it honestly, like, I'm not going to convince you to do anything you don't want to do. I'm 100% sure that I will never be able to convince you. All I can do is get you to know me, get you to like me, and tell you about the thing that I do, which is selling. So selling is not pushing or convincing. It's simply offering. So anytime you hear the word sell, just think about, oh, it's offering something. And the businesses that make the most money, let's say the tattooers that book the most tattoos, and I know someone's going to get in the comments and say this, yeah, but what about, so look, the tattooers that are booked out and they're not doing any marketing right now are mostly relying on repeat clients. I know this for a fact because I talked to a lot of them. They're finishing up larger projects. Yes, there's some word of mouth in there. They've built a really strong brand with the people that they currently work with, and maybe they don't need to, but you know what? If you're not in that situation, then don't compare yourself to those tattooers, because what's working for them isn't going to work for you, because they're literally doing nothing. They've already built some brand and it's working for them, and it might not always work for them. Right now, all we know is that your marketing isn't working as well as you'd like it to. And so in order for you to book more tattoos, once they know you and they like you, if we never offer a tattoo versus we offer a very specific project and we speak to the exact person that we want to work with and tell them exactly what it is, and we do that twice a week versus never doing that. Again, everyone knows you and they like you and they see your content, but one tattoo artist never offers anything versus the other tattoo artist like, hey, if you're in New York City and you want to do this specific thing, I have these specific dates open, and DM me this word and we can chat about an appointment. So you want to be specific. When you offer to someone who knows, likes, and trusts you, they are way more likely to buy from you. That's all. Again, we're just increasing the odds. So who's it for? Again, don't just say if you want to get tattooed. Where the fuck are you located? Say it again and again, because people are on social media and there's so much noise on there and they're being sold to so many things. They're trying to take their money from them, and the dog is doing this and they got to pay the rent, and it just clear. Good marketing is not clever. It's clear. It's like if you're in New York and you want to get something like this, I have this kind of availability. You don't have to say your availability, but it's just one way that you can create scarcity is by giving specific dates that you have available. Now, what if those dates don't work for everyone? Oh no. Well, they could still DM you and say, hey, those dates don't work for me, but I am interested in getting something like that. So all you're doing is giving, even if your calendar's wide open, just drop like 2 or 3 dates in there. You can give a reason. So it could be like, hey, the reason I want to do this is because it's Halloween and I'm looking to do more stuff like that. Or the new Godzilla movie is out and I just drew this flash sheet. Right? So there's some reason. You can give a specific benefit or bonus, meaning some kind of financial incentive, 20% off for this, but I don't like to rely on those, especially in my marketing. I like to build the demand by attracting and nurturing, and then you never have to offer a discount. There are ways to offer deals and promotions that don't diminish your brand, but I'll tell you what, I usually save that stuff for like DM marketing and email marketing. I don't usually do that openly in a public forum because it can diminish your brand. So I will save that one. Like if you're just really like, okay, I need to fill something up, sure, throw it in there. You might get some, price shoppers, and then tell them how to claim. Tell them very clearly what to do. Don't just say DM me. DM me what? And the reason you want to give a keyword is because people, again, their attention span, they're like, what should I say? Well, I want to get this tattoo. I've been thinking about doing, no, and then delete it versus just send me fucking Bilbo Baggins, or no, that's a long keyword. Send me, lightning. DM me the word lightning and we'll talk. You're for Flash. I don't know. DM me the word Flash. Just give a simple next step for people to take so that they don't have to think about the response or the thing they're going to send you, because in the time it takes them to type it out and delete it and type it out again, someone's going to call them in the middle of them typing it, and then they're going to get distracted and they're going to forget to message you. And that's the reason why we're making it as easy as possible. And so when you tie all this, oh, I forgot, big important thing, I didn't put it on here, but you can run ads to your selling content. And if you do it in Meta Ads Manager, which I show you how to do in the workshop, but you can figure to Google it. Like, I'm not gatekeeping this information. I'm just trying to keep this concise. You can retarget your already existing followers with ads. So these ads don't go to people that don't know you and they don't like you. We're only targeting our ads towards people that know you and like you. And so that way, for every dollar that you spend, it's going to a niche audience. And then you can even further narrow it down to not just your followers, but just your followers that actually live here. You can use this strategy to book out a convention or a guest spot, right? Target a selling piece of content to people that already follow you that are in X location. You can then run an ad for attraction content in that location, because you're going to get a higher conversion If you just run selling ads to people in a location where they don't know you yet, you're going to get a very low conversion on that ad, a low cost per metric, low click-through rate. But if you run one ad to attract new followers from that location where you're going to do the guest spot, and then you run another ad that only retargets your followers that are in that location where you're going to do a guest spot, you get a much higher return on ad spend, ROAS, from running ads like that. So it's all about using the tools that are available to everyone strategically. And if you want me to walk you through step by step and show you every little detail of the pieces of content and actual examples that I and my clients have made for this stuff, templates for you to follow, and I break down the exact settings that I use in Meta Ads Manager to run the attract and the sell ads, then hit the link below. Literally all the details there. I have a money back guarantee because I don't want anyone to give me money that doesn't feel like they got their value. So if you come to the workshop and you're like, nah, that was bullshit, just email me or DM me. I'll give you your money back. I'm not interested in keeping your money. So yeah, that's the Tattoo Forever system. Ask yourself, if you attracted more local people and then you got them to actually know you and then you offered them tattoos in a clear, simple, and concise way, and you did that over and over again, how many times have you seen one of my ads or pieces of content before you took one of my workshops or this one? Or you might have heard about this. You might need to hear it or see the offer multiple times, not once and then never again, not twice. Most people will book a tattoo with you after the 4th or the 6th or the 8th time that they've seen an offer from you. So when you think you're being annoying, you haven't even begun to become annoying. Because again, you have to remember how much noise is on social media. You have to cut through all that noise. And the way you do that is through repetition, through consistency, and then using the tools to be more laser focused by targeting your content in front of the eyeballs that you actually want to see, because those are your potential clients. That's the Tattoo Forever system. Ask yourself, if you were to do that, do you feel like you'd book more tattoos? Like, even if it didn't help you tattoo forever, which it could, I can't think of a good reason why it wouldn't. But even if it only got you 2 clients, it would totally be worth it. So, like, just check it out. And I'll see you there. And this is the end of this podcast. So have a great day. Bye. All right, if you found this episode helpful, one of the best ways for you to help other artists is to share this episode. Leave a review and subscribe. It helps other people find my channel, and you never know what a difference it might make for someone else. Plus, I will forever be grateful for your support, so I just want to say thank you and have a great rest of your day.